All right, welcome to this explainer. Listen, if you're an ACCA PM student getting ready to sit for your exam, I need you to grab your coffee, sit up straight, and tune in. Seriously, we are bringing absolute, highly caffeinated energy to your revision today. We're going to lock in some incredibly easy exam marks by attacking two of the examiner's absolute favorite topics. You probably already know the models, right? But today, we're going to learn how to actually apply them efficiently, and more importantly, dodge those traps that cost students their passing grades.
So here's our game plan for today. First, cracking throughput accounting. Second, the T-PAR decision rule. Third, environmental management accounting, or EMA for short. And fourth, the 4 types of environmental costs. These are 2 massive topics, and we are going to absolutely crush them.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, cracking through throughput accounting and beating the bottleneck.
Look, in literally any manufacturing process, there is always a bottleneck, right? It's that one slow machine or process that completely limits your total output. Throughput accounting is all about maximizing your profit around that single limiting factor. But to really get this, we have to look at the absolute core definition. Throughput is simply your sales revenue minus your direct material cost. That's it, nothing else. In the world of throughput accounting, we make this huge, absolutely crucial assumption: only direct material is considered truly variable. Every single other factory cost, rent, electricity, and yes, even the people working the machines, it's all just lumped together as a fixed total factory cost in the short term.
Now stop whatever you're doing and pay attention to this, because this is the ultimate exam trap. I'm telling you, do not fall for this. The examiner is almost certainly going to give you a direct labor cost per unit and try to tempt you into deducting it from your sales revenue. No way. Remember, in throughput accounting, labor is fixed in the short term. Do not treat it as a variable cost. If you subtract labor when calculating throughput, you are going to lose those marks instantly. Just don't do it. Only deduct material, period.
So, how do we actually tackle a calculation question when it pops up? Well, here is your golden 5-step roadmap. Memorize this exact sequence. Step 1, identify your bottleneck resource. You know, which machine is actually slowing everything down. Step 2, calculate the throughput per unit for each product. Remember, that's just sales price minus material cost. Step 3, calculate the throughput per bottleneck hour. This is so vital because you want to know exactly how much profit you're generating for every precious hour spent on that slow machine. Step 4, rank your products from highest throughput per hour all the way down to the lowest. And finally, Step 5, allocate your scarce bottleneck hours to your #1 ranked product first until demand is met, and then just work your way down the list. If you follow these steps, honestly, you cannot go wrong.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, the T-PAR decision rule, the formula for profit.
So this brings up a really good question. How do we actually know if a product is truly profitable under throughput accounting? I mean, think about it. How do we know if a product is worth making when we're only looking at material costs? We still have an entire factory full of fixed costs to pay for, right? We need a specific metric to tell us if our throughput is actually high enough to cover all those overheads and, actually generate a profit.
Well, the solution is the throughput accounting ratio, or T-PAR for short. Here's how it works. You take your throughput per bottleneck hour and you divide it by your total factory cost per bottleneck hour. It's like a giant balancing act. You're essentially comparing the exact rate at which you generate cash against the rate at which you spend cash on your factory overheads. The ultimate goal here is always to maximize your throughput per bottleneck hour to make absolutely sure it outweighs those fixed factory costs.
And that brings us to the absolutely crucial point, the decision rule. Your T-PAR must be greater than 1. Seriously, scream this rule from the rooftops. If the T-PAR is greater than 1, the product is profitable, boom, done. It literally means you're generating cash faster than you're burning it. But if it's less than 1, oh boy. You are losing money every single time that bottleneck machine ticks over.
Let's violently hammer this concept into your short-term memory with a brilliant one-line summary from our revision notes. Throughput equals sales less material. Maximize per bottleneck hour. Seriously, if you take absolutely nothing else away from this topic today, remember that single sentence. It's the whole shebang. It contains the formula and your ultimate objective all in one perfectly wrapped package.
Okay, take a deep breath and let's quickly reset, because we are diving into Section 3, Environmental Management Accounting, or EMA, making costs visible.
We are completely pivoting here to our second boss battle, a topic that blends hard financial metrics with corporate responsibility. See, the traditional problem with environmental costs, stuff like waste disposal or emissions compliance, is that they're usually totally hidden. They just get dumped into this massive, generic, general overhead bucket. And because of that, management has literally no idea which specific products are actually causing the damage. Well, EMA completely changes the game. It identifies these environmental costs and aggressively allocates them to the specific products or processes that actually generated them. Basically, it makes the hidden costs visible so management can finally step up and make smart, targeted decisions.
Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually do that allocation in a real exam question? Well, here is your ultimate exam trick. You use activity-based costing, or ABC. You allocate these environmental costs using specific cost drivers. So instead of allocating waste disposal costs based on something totally arbitrary, like, say, labor hours, you allocate them based on the actual kilograms of waste a product creates, or maybe the liters of effluent it pumps out. This method heavily penalizes the dirty products and for sure accurately reflects their true cost to the business.
All right, let's bring it home. Section 4. 4 types of environmental costs. Categorize to win.
To totally master EMA, you must be able to perfectly categorize environmental costs into proactive and reactive management buckets. First up, we have prevention costs. This is stuff like buying equipment to reduce emissions before they even happen. Second, we have detection costs. Things like testing and monitoring, just to ensure you aren't polluting. But then, things go wrong, right? That's internal failure. It means the pollution happened, but luckily you caught it inside your factory. Think cleaning up a spill or paying for safe waste disposal. And finally, the absolute worst-case scenario, external failure. The pollution actually escaped into the world, resulting in severe government fines, massive lawsuits, and a completely devastating loss of reputation. Notice a trend here? Investing early in prevention is always cheaper than paying for a massive external failure down the line.
To anchor this entire topic in your mind forever, we have our second one-line summary. EMA equals making environmental costs visible for decisions. It really is that simple. Pull the costs out of general overhead, attach them to the right product using your cost drivers, and make decisions that improve both the environment and your bottom line.
All right, final section. Go pass your exam. Final strategic advice.
We have covered a significant amount of high-yield ground today. As we wrap up this revision masterclass, here is your final, absolute, non-negotiable rule. Show all your workings. I mean it. The examiner's reports say this exact same thing year after year. Let's say you mess up one simple calculation early in a throughput question. Well, unfortunately, your final TPAR number is going to be wrong. But if the examiner can clearly see your logic and see that you followed the correct steps, they are going to award you method marks. And believe me, those method marks are literally the difference between a 48% fail and a 50% pass. So please, show your steps. Just think about what we've accomplished today. You now know to completely ignore labor when calculating throughput. You know exactly how to maximize profit per bottleneck hour. You know how to use ABC to expose those hidden environmental costs. You know the models, you know the traps. So, are you ready to apply them and completely crush your PM exam? I know you are. Keep revising, practice those past papers, and go get that pass.